far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a gangster.
Martin Scorsese is widely regarded as one of the greatest directors in cinema history. In a career spanning over 50 years, he has crafted some of the most iconic, influential, and critically acclaimed films ever made. His filmography reads like a list of all-time classics: Raging Bull, Goodfellas, Taxi Driver, The Departed. Scorsese's films explore complex themes like violence, guilt, redemption, machismo, and the darkest parts of human nature, with a visceral filmmaking style to match. He has worked with legendary actors like Robert De Niro, Leonardo DiCaprio, and Harvey Keitel to create some of their most memorable performances. Let's count down Martin Scorsese's 10 greatest cinematic achievements and why they stand the test of time.
Charge a guy with a gun. With a knife, you run away. So you charge with a gun, with a knife, you run.
Number 10, The Irishman, 2019.
Hiya, Frank. Would you like to be a part of history?
Yes, I would.
Bringing together Scorsese with veterans Robert De Niro, Joe Pesci, Harvey Keitel, and an epic runtime of over 3.5 hours, The Irishman is a sprawling gangster epic. It charts the life of mob hitman Frank Sheeran and his connections with Jimmy Hoffa and the Bufalino crime family over several decades. The de-aging visual effects attracted attention, but it's the morally ambiguous themes, the rich character development, and the chemistry between De Niro and Pacino that makes this one of Marty's finest late-career films. The Irishman contemplates mortality, regret, and the cost of a life in organized crime, cementing Scorsese's legacy as the crime genre's master auteur. Number 9, The Aviator, 2004.
The way of the future. No,
Give me a hand here, will you, Glenn?
The way of the future. The way of the future.
This 2004 biopic of Howard Hughes marks Scorsese's first big-budget Hollywood film with Leonardo DiCaprio in the lead role. It focuses on Hughes' early career as a maverick filmmaker and aviation pioneer in the 1920s up to the 1940s.
Jesus, she's fast!
What's your speed, Howard?
292!
The Aviator is a visual feast, impeccably bringing the glitz and glamour of old Hollywood to life. DiCaprio's committed performance captures both the ambition and obsessive-compulsive genius of Hughes. The film received 11 Oscar nominations, with Cate Blanchett winning Best Supporting Actress for her turn as Katharine Hepburn. Vibrant, grandiose, and filled with iconic Scorsese set pieces, The Aviator shows Marty and Leo can make a blockbuster with brains. Number 8, The Wolf of Wall Street, 2013.
With a common denominator.
Once again teaming up with Leonardo DiCaprio, The Wolf of Wall Street tackles the excessive world of stockbroker Jordan Belfort, brought to life in an outrageous, go-for-broke performance by Leo. It charts Belfort's rise to power, earning millions by defrauding wealthy investors, and his hard fall involving sex, drugs, and non-stop partying. The Wolf of Wall Street brims with Scorsese's skill for gleeful mayhem and moral complexity. At 3 hours, it's a white-knuckle thrill ride through the depths of human depravity, but also a critique of capitalistic excess and greed at its worst. The legendary Quaalude scene demonstrates Scorsese's unmatched ability to tread the line between comedy and horror.
Stop.
Number 7, The King of Comedy, 1983.
My name is Rupert Pupkin. I was born in Clifton, New Jersey.
Starring Robert De Niro as Rupert Pupkin, a wannabe comedian obsessed with talk show host Jerry Langford, played by Jerry Lewis. The King of Comedy is one of Scorsese's most bitingly satirical works. Rupert's desperate attempts to hijack Jerry's fame to further his own comedic ambitions highlight Scorsese's dim view of the reality TV-obsessed, celebrity-worshipping culture that was just emerging in the 80s. The King of Comedy deconstructs the dark side of the American dream, how the relentless pursuit of fame and recognition can drive someone over the edge. This prescient, boldly original film remains one of Scorsese's unsung classics. Number 6, Mean Streets, 1973.
You don't make up for your sins in the church. You do it in the streets. You do it at home. The rest is bullshit and you know it.
Mean Streets put Scorsese firmly on the map as a bold new voice in American cinema. It also kicked off his long creative relationship with De Niro in electrifying fashion. The gritty crime story follows small-time gangsters trying to make their way through New York's Little Italy and the city's corrupt criminal underworld. More character study than gangster flick, Mean Streets pulsates with the restless energy of 70s cinema at its best. The final shooting scene where De Niro's character meets his fate still stands as one of the all-time most memorable endings. Mean Streets heralded the arrival of a boundary-pushing director in Scorsese. Number 5, Raging Bull, 1980.
How big I get, no matter who I fight, no matter what I do, I ain't never gonna fight Joe Louis.
Quite simply one of the greatest films about boxing and masculinity ever made. Robert De Niro stars as boxer Jake LaMotta, in what might be his finest performance out of many classic collaborations with Scorsese. It's an unflinching portrait of an insecure, explosively violent man struggling with jealousy, rage, and ultimately his own self-destruction. Raging Bull wasn't an easy production, taking its toll on De Niro and Scorsese, but their shared artistic vision resulted in a visceral masterpiece with some of the most painfully raw emotions ever depicted on screen. And that final scene is the stuff of movie magic. Number 4, Goodfellas, 1990.
You're leaving your car?
Watches the car for me. It's easier than leaving it at a garage.
Adapted from the book Wise Guy by Nicholas Pileggi, Goodfellas has become synonymous with the golden age of the Scorsese-De Niro partnership. It offers a riveting glimpse into the day-to-day dealings inside New York's Lucchese crime family through the eyes of Henry Hill, played with magnetism by Ray Liotta in his career-defining role. Scorsese crafts two of modern cinema's most iconic set pieces here, the unbroken Copacabana tracking shot and the devastating violence of the climactic party massacre. Goodfellas balances honest emotional drama with some truly funny moments too, showing off Scorsese's range and versatility. Simply put, it represents the mob movie perfected. Number 3, Taxi Driver, 1976. With Taxi Driver, a 25-year-old screenwriter named Paul Schrader and rising director Martin Scorsese made the leap into greatness, while propelling a young De Niro to superstardom. He plays Travis Bickle, an alienated war vet and nocturnal taxi driver drifting aimlessly around a decaying, grim New York City. Travis Bickle has become shorthand for the angry, disaffected male loner, his feelings of frustration eventually erupting into shocking violence. Brooding, dark and infinitely rich with meaning, Taxi Driver cemented the Scorsese hallmarks of striking visuals and searing character studies. It remains perhaps Martin's most impactful work that still feels disturbingly relevant today. Number 2, Casino, 1995.
I will go to the police! I am not protecting you anymore!
Marking the 8th collaboration between the powerhouse director-actor duo. Casino is effectively Goodfellas Part 2, and it's every bit as gripping as its predecessor. De Niro stars as Sam Rothstein, based on real-life figure Frank Rosenthal, the gambling expert who ran swank Las Vegas casinos for the mob back in the 70s. Sharon Stone and Joe Pesci steal scenes, while De Niro anchors it all with another world-weary turn. Casino returns to familiar Scorsese territory, but the glitzy neon surface gives way to an ugly underworld where greed and ego finally take their toll. Scorsese is once again at the top of his game, cementing his Godfather status in the gangster genre. Number 1, After Hours, 1985.
So now she's the one in the Mr. Softy ice cream truck who's trying to kill me!
Coming in at the top spot is 1985's After Hours, an underappreciated gem and Martin Scorsese at his quirkiest. When ordinary Joe Paul Hackett played by Griffin Dunne meets Marcy in a late-night diner, he gets plunged into a bizarre nighttime odyssey in Soho, experiencing one absurd misfortune after another. After Hours sends up the yuppie culture of the 80s while taking inspiration from Alfred Hitchcock's thrillers. It's a delirious comedy of errors as Griffin Dunne's everyman battles one ludicrous obstacle after another, from burglars to an angry mob. Scorsese delivers visual inventiveness and rapid-fire absurdist laughs throughout. Overflowing with offbeat charm, After Hours stands out in Scorsese's filmography for its lightness of touch and comedic tone, but it maintains his signature flair for high-stakes tension, energetic camera work, and exploring the underbelly of society. This cult favorite deserves recognition as one of Martin's most creative triumphs.
Girl, and now I've got to die for it?
What do you want from me?
And there we have it, Martin Scorsese's 10 greatest cinematic achievements ranked and reviewed. We've traveled from the mean streets of Little Italy to the glitzy casinos of Vegas, from the boxing rings of the 1940s to the excess of 1980s, Wall Street. Throughout his legendary career, Scorsese has cemented himself as America's greatest living filmmaker, bringing passion, energy, and technical mastery to every project. From violently poetic crime sagas to dark psychological studies, razor-sharp satires to rock concert epics, Scorsese has done it all. As he enters the final stages of his career, we wait with anticipation for Killers of the Flower Moon, his $200 million Western starring Leo and De Niro about the mysterious Osage murders of the 1920s. Can he deliver Oscar gold one final time? For over 50 years, Martin Scorsese has been movie royalty. He's made us laugh, made us wince, made us question ourselves and moved us deeply. No other director combines pulsating filmmaking with such emotional power and resonant themes. Simply put, nobody does it quite like Marty. So what's your favorite Scorsese flick? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe for all the latest movie rankings, montages. Thanks for watching and we'll see you next time.